Hey there guys, Claire Mockridge here, I trust you're well. I'm sat here with me and an Elfie. He's so far behaving himself, which is good. I just wanted to sort of share a quick video with you because I know that a lot of you are going to be travelling this festive season, and I know myself because I've done a little bit of travelling the last few days, and it's really sort of jacked up my back and my hips, and they sort of still feel quite tight actually. So I thought I would just run through a couple of stretches and ideas and stuff about how to sort of avoid hip pain, how to avoid back pain, because particularly if you're sort of sitting down in cars and things like that. If you're travelling by train, why don't you just stand up would be my first sort of suggestion on that one. The only sort of thing that you'll need really for this video would be perhaps a chair, maybe for one of the stretches, so you might want to just grab a chair or something there if you have it. So one of the main areas of the body that actually gets a little bit jacked up, I suppose, really, when you're sitting down is the hip flexors. So hip flexors are here, kind of run down from the pelvis and join onto the femurs. Yeah, so these muscles here. So I'm going to probably do this one. I tell you, it won't be easier actually if I do a standing stretch or standing option for you on this one. I'm off out actually for a walk soon, so I know I've got a big scarf on. It's absolutely freezing here in my house at the moment, but not going to put the heating on because I know I'm going to be out for a few hours. So okay, so what you need to do is it's a split stance. Let me just pop my thing down a touch there. There we go. So it's a split sort of stance. And remember, it's this muscle group here that we're actually going to be stretching. So I've got my heel lifted on that back foot. Okay, so heel up. And then what I'll ask you to do is just kind of push the pelvis forward, so pubic bone goes forwards, and then you just bend both knees, and then you should feel a good old stretch there in that hip flexor. So you've got to kind of move the pelvis into neutral, so the hip bones and the pubic bone are kind of neutral here. Yeah, so hip bones and pubic bone in the same line, and you hold that for a good sort of, 60 seconds, something like that. 60 minutes even if you're feeling really, really jacked up there. Okay, then you change sides. So it's all sort of standing hip flexor. So the next time you're at services there, if you've had to kind of get off the motorway or whatever, just stand here, and it's, as I say, just a split stance. Just push the pubic bone forwards. You can check that also that your pelvis is level, yeah, and also not twisted as well. Okay, so that's kind of the three planes, I suppose, really, of the pelvis. So you want to just make sure that you've got a little bit of a hip flexor stretch kicking off there, which is great. Then the hamstrings, the backs of your legs, you want to probably give them a bit of a stretch out as well, because when you sat down, let me just bring my chair in. When you sat down like this, often people actually sit on the back of their pelvis, yeah, when they're in chairs, whether that's in a car seat or train or bus or whatever mode of transport you're choosing. Maybe you're flying, oh, God help you if you're going off to a long haul flight or something. But yeah, if you if I just explain the two attachments to the muscle here that runs down the back of the leg, I guess it kind of joins onto the top of the calf muscle, and then actually originates kind of the sit bones, yeah, the bones here. So if you're sitting like this a lot, it's almost as though you've actually brought this muscle attachment closer to this one here. So a great way of shortening the hamstring muscles is to sit on the back of your pelvis that is not neutral. So what you can do here again, when you sort of get off the motorway or whatever, you want to sort of, let me just stand around this way here, perhaps it's better. Just line myself up here somewhere. So you want to kind of straighten the front leg, and the back leg is going to be bent, okay? And then you just kind of bend the back leg and straighten the front one, alright? Most people, when they start doing this, they've got the front foot too far forwards, so just scooch that front foot in and then sit back. I'm going to move myself in, so I want you to have a look at what my lower back is doing, okay? Because remember what I said there about the muscle attachments? If you're doing this to your pelvis, then you're just putting slack on this muscle. So again, I'll cue you to kind of just lift your sit bones away from you a bit. Yeah, so your sit bones go that way. Let me show you from the front. So you've got one leg straight, one leg bent. You're not really sort of over here like this. Yeah, you've got nice even distribution. And check your rib thrust as well. Yeah, if you're doing this with your tail out and your ribs up like this, I'll ask you to drop your ribs down, yeah, towards the pelvis. And then just relax the shoulders. Yeah, that's a hamstring stretch, okay? And then switch sides. You might also perhaps benefit from an inner thigh stretch as well. So pretty much all of the muscle groups that feed in and out of the pelvis could do a bit of a stretch here. So, wide stance, whatever your interpretation of that is, you need to check that your feet are pointing forwards, okay? So you're not standing like this, toes pointing forward, so the outside edge of both feet are nice and straight. Doesn't really matter what you do with your arms, they can kind of just transfer from one side to the other. Essentially what you're doing here is straightening one leg and keeping the other leg bent. Okay, I would actually prefer that you sit back when you do that though. Okay, so watch where your knee is going. It shouldn't be going over the toe, it should be sort of staying a little bit more vertical than that. Okay, so kind of go, scooch your butt cheeks back and then do this. If you get lower back pain with this one, I'll tell you why. It's because A, you're tucking your pelvis under, putting a lot of load on that lumbar spine, or you're lifting your ribs up again. Alright, so you're going to drop your ribs down towards the pelvis and poke your bum out. So you should have a nice natural lumbar curve here and a nice sort of natural, sort of thoracic spine there as well. Okay, so that's inner thighs. Now grab your chair. There is a standing version of this one, but I'll be honest with you, if most of you try that, you'd probably fall over. Okay, so you need to again sit on the edge of the chair. Note my lower back. It's not like this. Okay, so get on your sit bones and move the tailbone a little bit away from you, and then you just grab one leg. Okay, and you pop it over here like this. Alright, have a look to see where the other leg is, the shin on that other leg. Can you see how the heel is way back here? The heel should be sitting underneath the knee joint. Alright, so we're going for kind of a vertical shin. And then you bring the, cross the ankle over the knee. Have a look again at my lower back. It's not like this. Yeah, so move the sit bones away from you. Drop your shoulders down. Drop the ribs down. And just kind of hang out there for a little moment. Alright, so that's 4 different stretches, and change legs obviously. So that's 4 different stretches you could easily do when you're travelling around and stuff there. And I'm going to sign off now because it's great, it's just started raining, just what I need. I've got to go out and do a little bit more sort of Christmas shopping. I did do most of the sort of food shopping there yesterday and managed to not kill anybody whilst doing that, so that was good. But I will say that there's just a couple of bits and bobs there that we didn't quite manage to get whilst we were out in the shops there yesterday afternoon. So I'm going to kind of say farewell, Merry Christmas and all that sort of stuff from me, and also from Elfie there is, as I say, behaving himself. Very good. And I hope you've enjoyed Elfie's series of exercises. And yeah, I'll see you either on Christmas Day if I do another little sort of segment with Elfie, or it's likely to be sometime in the new year. Thanks again for your support as well, guys. See you soon. Bye for now.